Hello. Hello. Anyone around here speak basketball? This is Abby Silver. Vision 6'9".
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas, and Hooser on the other side. I'm sure mourning the loss of our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. Are you?
I'm your producer. I'm Matt Duncan. Yes, I am a little bit in mourning, but I've gotten pretty used to it over these years.
Yep.
But no, there's going to be some bombs going off at MLSC. Everybody hang tight, get under a desk and get ready because there's going to be some wild stuff going on. But, you know, it is what it is.
Cool. Yeah, no, I love starting podcasts with like bomb threats. No, but you know what? It should be a fairly explosive season at MLSC. We'll see if TFC has a bad year. Who knows, man? It's just going to be a killing spree.
Thank God for the Argos.
Yeah, thank God for the Argos. Shout out to their 2,000 fans. I like the Argos. This is a Raptors / NBA podcast. We'll be starting with the NBA today. Obviously, as we're down to 4 teams. We're with Raptors Republic. Thanks for tuning in. We got some fun guests today. Let's bring them on. Nigel, let me start with you. So this is just sort of a narrative question. Actually, oddly enough, same teams that are in the conference finals as the bubble. I mean, I've talked about this a bunch, but I'm pretty sure that if the Celtics do not make the finals, we will have like a record tying amount of parity. Like there was one time in the 70s where there was no repeat teams in the finals for no back-to-backs rather for 5 years. And I think that we're in that threshold, but just from a narrative perspective, what's the most compelling finals matchup for you?
So there's a lot of compelling matchups here, but it all depends who the compelling is for. If it's for the regular guy, it's got to be Lakers and Boston, renewing those old rivalries, the old Magic and Bird, all of those things that kept the NBA alive as long as Stern, didn't he set up all those finals, making sure that everyone was a little bit crooked back in the day? So bringing back all of those things, you know what I mean? So a little bit of that, back to, the Rogue One of the NBA. Now we're the enlightened NBA, thanks to Mr. David Silver. But for me, it's got to be Kyle Lowry in there. It has to be Kyle Lowry in there because he is the GOAT after all.
Right.
And you know what? I kind of want to see that guy who really is the opposite of Mr. Embiid. I want to see the Joker in there as well, just to show all those guys that those MVPs were real. So for me, with the big two, anything else, you know what? It's the NBA Finals. I'm going to be watching anyway.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to be watching anyway. I think there's no wrong answer here. I like the Heat and the Nuggets pick, though. Obviously Raptors fans, it's going to be incredible to see Kyle in the finals again, if he wins, oh my God, Kyle 2 titles, 2 different teams, would be very exciting. Obviously Coach Spo is amazing. I think all the coaches left are pretty good. Why am I blanking? Is it Missoula for the Celtics is brand new, so that would be interesting as well. I think there's a lot of sort of familiar rivalry. Maybe Denver is the one team that throws a lot of this off, but I like your point about an MVP proving themselves, because it's sort of like, Giannis did that. Like anytime an MVP or MVP caliber player who's sort of doubted in the playoffs shows up, it's nice, right? It's kind of like a validating for them. Okay, Ryan, who's your most compelling matchup?
Honestly, both are pretty exciting. You got so many great players in this with Joker, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, Jimmy, LeBron, obviously, and AD. But the one that I kind of want to see, and it would just be great because it would be a rematch of the bubble, is Miami and LA. Because honestly, what Jimmy Butler is to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, I get this stigma with him throughout his career that he has literally always been called like a borderline superstar, and people don't want to give him that. But this playoffs has almost got him to that point where people are now respecting him and treating him like, you know what, this guy is the superstar. So to see what he did in the bubble finals with the legendary, like, humped over the desk pose at the end, because he just gave everything that he had and he couldn't get it done. It's like that, you know, bridesmaid but never the bride type of deal. So it's like, I want to see him do it. Like, I really want to see him do it. So I want to see what Jimmy's going to do in this iteration of Heat Lakers in the finals. I would hope. I want both of them to get there. So I'm going to go Boston, and Miami is the one that's the most compelling for me right now.
Wait, you mean Lakers, Miami?
Oh, well, in the conference finals, Boston, Miami.
Oh, right.
Would be the most compelling, so I could get that Laker Heat matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think like that Boston Miami series is fascinating, right? I think it was last year that it came down to Jimmy missing that, like, was it a series winning or series tying shot?
He missed that. He took that three. He took that
three. Right.
And he got criticized for it. It was bad. Yeah.
I think also, just sort of piggybacking on the Lakers versus Heat, you have a couple things there which are fun for me. Obviously, LeBron against the Heat again. But you have Kevin Love against LeBron, which is kind of fun. Kevin Love leaving the Cavs, which to me was like so perplexing. I thought the Cavs, I thought his fit on the Cavs was awesome. They were a good team, and he left them for the Heat. But now he's here, right? So it's like, okay, Kevin Love, do your thing, man. And then, like Tyler Hero goes out. I also feel like this is really validating if you're someone who kind of believed that the bubble, was not this weird asterisk. I think these four teams being back here a couple years later is fairly validating. And then also, if you're the NBA, this has got to be validating for the play-in, right? You got Miami plays 2 games, the Lakers play one, and they're all the way back at the conference finals. So, I mean, yeah, it's interesting too, right? It's a lot of, Nigel brought up all the firing of Doc Rivers, but for anyone listening, right, it's like, it's just wild, right? Doc Rivers, Bud, Nurse, Monty Williams,
so many good coaches.
Yeah, like really, really, pressure's on. I think obviously the first person to go is a head coach, but like all of these head coaches have absolutely showed up. And I mean, if you're a Celtics fan too, you're kind of like, hey, whatever coach you give us, this team's good. You know what I mean? I think was it Stevens, Udoka, and Missoula now, right? Have all brought this team to a conference finals. Yeah, for me, I think I hate to say this for 2 reasons. But my most compelling matchup is the Celtics. I can never ever root for the Celtics. So I versus the Nuggets. I think they're the 2 best teams left. And also, very selfishly, me and a couple buddies made 4 bets at the beginning of the season, and the Nuggets winning the championship was one of them. And all 3 bets have failed fairly miserably. Well, sorry, one was Giannis MVP. Didn't fail that hard. Another was the Raptors winning the over.
Yeah.
Which That blew up in our face almost automatically or right away. But yeah, so those are my two teams. Yeah, I think those are all the matchups, though. No stone unturned.
You know
here.
what we did? We did 5 rings for LeBron too, right? That's out there. We didn't really mention, right?
No, yeah,
So
of
that's
course.
like a big one.
Yeah, that's a huge one, of course. And I mean, I think you also like Tatum's building his own mythos right now too, right? You can't discount that. Most points in a game 7. Like he's been to the finals. He's 25. There was rumors that they were going to trade Jaylen Brown. They finished first and second team All NBA, right? So
$600 million for 2 players over 5 years now. That's crazy.
right, yeah,
they have to.
Oh.
They have the opposite of what Raptors fans have. Which is sort of like, the Raptors
I did notice Jaylen Brown and Embiid had a longer embrace than
Where are we going, boys?
So
Where are we going?
I don't know. Maybe. And there's a lot of talk of Harden leading, and will the Celtics pay that much money to 2 guys? So, just saying.
Can anyone afford that now, though, Freddie? That's and Ryan. Now with the apron coming up, the B apron or whatever they're calling it now, the second layer of the luxury tax. Right. Is anyone going to be able to do that?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I think if like I can't remember a team making it far in, since I've been a hardcore NBA fan that hasn't really been like giving up that money and like in the luxury tax. Like this is a luxury tax league now. Like I feel like there was something like 14 or 15, maybe even 16 teams in the luxury tax this year. Like if you expect to even have a chance to win, you gotta pay. So, but I mean, yeah, like Brown, Tatum, that's a wild amount of money. But if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm like, there shouldn't be a question. Like, you keep these guys together. With you. So yeah, Masai talked about this Raptors team not being a fun team to watch, which is both like a simple statement, but it cuts pretty deep. And I think it resonates with a lot of fans, and at least shows me that he wasn't disconnected from what the season was like and what it was, what it felt like to endure for everyone involved. So how do you inject fun into this team? Like, what is it exactly that makes the Raptors fun next season? And this is sort of assuming. Well, I mean, I guess it can be making trades if you want, but yeah. Just take that question, in any direction you want. How do you make this team fun?
Well, for me, the obvious, and I like to be obvious at the end of the day.
Yeah,
is offense. I'd like a real friggin' offense, an offense that has like movement, has ball movement, has people cutting, have people. You run some Spain, you run some Chicago. Some pistol over here, whatever you want to do. Just give me some structure. Let's have some fun. Let's shoot. And let's shoot above 33% from threes. Something exciting, fun. I'm so sick and tired of offensive rebounds. I'm sick and tired of guys sitting there bouncing the ball and no one moving. And then we take an ISO left, ISO right. Give me something a little more fun.
That's a fantastic answer. I think we've talked forever, sort of, but the post-championship, downward arc of this team. So much of this team has been kind of like read and react, and I'm sure that's great training for players to like put on a bunch of different hats. But man, oh man, can we get some Dwayne Casey roll cards going here? Can we tell people this is what you do? This is what I expect of you. You run X amount of pick and rolls. And, I think, depending on what happens with Pirtle and Fred and Gary to a lesser extent, we have a pick and roll center, right? And, I think, Fred averaged something like 9 assists with Pirtle there, right? So there's the structure of that. Obviously, without some major development from, major shooting development from guys like, Pascal, who's already okay, but like sort of a catch and shoot Pascal, Scotty, just shooting above 30%. or
He was
Pirtle.
31 last year. Don't come on, he's up on Scotty, okay?
Oh, fair enough. My bad. Was he 31? Did he finish it?
I think it was 31.
Okay, all right. Hey, that's something. Hey, give me 33. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then like obviously not sure what happened with Precious, but if some of these guys can shoot, if Otto finds his toe, right? Like I think that's gonna really help. And even if they can't shoot, like you said, like some big, some cutting, some creativity, and that's not just like ISO. Like ISO's rough. Well, watching guys do ISO is not fun, and I think it also generates a lot of frustration from fans. Brian, what's your injection of fun for this roster?
It's there's winning and then there's fun. Sometimes you can have both, but to have fun, to make this team fun, maybe a gimmick like light the beam, like steal something, like Sacramento just came out of nowhere with that, and like look at their team now. I'm pretty sure it's more than just lighting the beam.
No, it's the beam. It's the beam.
It became a thing, right? And look at the Knicks. The Knicks found something in Bing Bong just randomly with the subway system, right? Like they're each taking something out of their cities and like making it something. So there's that. But if you want to talk like actual basketball, fun, you need like an agitator. You need like when's the last time the Raptors had anyone that was like a Pat Bev, Lance Stevenson,
Charles Oakley
type Charles Oakley, and that's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'd say Serge maybe.
Oh, Serge, yeah.
Surge.
Yeah.
And he
Not
got
so
a
much
big
an
pop at
agitator,
the
but
first game. Yeah,
we had Tucker, we had Serge, but like those are guys you don't mess with. They're not agitators, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Lance Stevenson, he was a funny agitator. Like if you want to look at like LeBron's agitators, I have Lance Stevenson at like number 1 because of the antics that he would pull. And then game wise, he actually like would have some good games. Like he could light it up from 3 when he wanted to. He could play some pretty decent defense. He was entertaining. So
he was entertaining.
A player like Lance Stevenson would be fun to have. Like,
how about Dylan Brooks?
I was gonna say, so your team Dylan Brooks?
Yeah.
See, that was that type of agitation did not go over so well.
Did you like it or you didn't like it? I loved it.
I didn't like. You liked?
Man.
I
loved it.
I liked what he was doing and where he was going with it, but the problem was he didn't own up to it. The best agitators own up to it. Yeah, they own up to it. Lance owned up to it. Pat Bev owns up to it if he's wrong, but he just couldn't play that role.
Yeah, and I'll say too, I think what the narrative changes really quickly. I feel like people were kind of frustrated with Brooks, but he went for the Kings, right? He went for we didn't go for the Kings.
He went for a lot of people.
He went at Clay. He went at Clay, right? Then he goes at LeBron.
He called out Luka when Luka was injured, and I was just like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, like I think you sort of like you get a version of him that's a little less extreme, and maybe maybe you're cooking with oil, right? Because like for as much as he was the joke of the league, dude finished, what was it? Was it first team or second team?
Second team all D.
Second team all D. So that's pretty serious. So that's a very legit. That's something, right? Like that's like OG. Like we had to campaign for, and OG deserved it, but we had to campaign for OG to get on there. He had to lead the league in steals. So for Brooks to be there in people's minds, even as a guy that is so hated, it tells me something. And he might just like, how old's Brooks? Like, what if he just needs a little bit of maturity, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be good for his career to get to mature up. I think the best thing for his career to mature up. But for us, not so much. I kind of liked it, buddy. I kind of liked it. It was fun. When he called LeBron old, stuff was coming down. That was the best moment this year. Oh,
well, I mean, speaking of wrestling, he definitely was like, he's that like He's that guy in the Royal Rumble who gets like
Oh,
tossed first.
Stone Cold.
You know what I mean? He like he's not Stone Cold, man. He's just the guy who runs out
He tried.
and then like
He tried
right
to
away
pull off
gets
the
thrown
Stone
out. But the fans love that guy. You know what I mean? You got to set up greatness. Like there's
He
got
had
to
the
be
stick.
many levels. You know what I mean? Like, he understands the theater and the stakes of the league. He's like, listen, LeBron needs someone to clown early on here. But yeah, you know, that's a good answer though. I think having some personality and agitator could be good for this team. Offense, really good for this team as well. You know, I think what I want to sort of inject some fun is kind of like some like whatever coach comes in. You know, I want this team to I want them to be like I want them to be jokey. Like I want a team that is all about vibes and you know, not to the degree like where they're a Memphis and then high, but I want them to like I want the weight to come off. I feel like Fred's a very serious guy. Pascal's serious to a degree. Sorry, you got something, Ryan?
Van Gundy, brother.
Jeff Van
Stan.
Gundy?
Or Spin.
We got
Stan.
the jokes.
Honestly,
Both are pretty funny.
Honestly, here's what I'm asking for. Give me head coach Jeff, assistant coach Stan.
Oh my god.
No other assistants. Those
Tag
two
team.
running the whole
I'll
show.
take that.
Oh wow.
That would be hilarious and wild. No, but I think like if this team, like even you think about the theatrics of Kyle coming out and everyone's doing their workout and doing sit-ups, like that kind of like just sort of relaxation. Like this team really needs that. You know, I hope whoever, Masai, Bobby, whatever coach they bring on, they're like, listen, our team is, they're going to Disney World, they're going to Busch Gardens, they're going to someplace. You know what I mean? They're doing some team bonding.
Just win. That's all they need.
Winning helps.
That helps a lot.
Winning
Right?
does help.
Winning helps a lot. Guys, that does it for the pod. Thank you both so much. This was a fun one. Let me go to you first, Ryan. What's up? What do you got going on? What do you want to tell the people? What do you want to plug?
Well, aside from, my depressing Mavs and, the Raptors coming up so short, there might be, future one-off episodes of Below the Hardwood in the future. We'll see how I feel. We'll see if my teams can get back to relevancy and inspire me to once again join the podcast world.
Yeah, man. I'm a fan, so I hope you guys do.
Yeah.
Nigel, what's up? What do you want to plug?
I started a new pod. It's called Forgetful Curator. It's all about meeting with some of the personalities that cover the Raptors. Getting a dive into what their backgrounds are, why they write the way they do, why does Freddie have his pod the way he does, getting a little background into how he thinks, his memories of the Raptors, and how that's kind of pushing him towards his views on everything else. Just so you can see what these people are really like behind the camera.
I love it. There's a lot of sort of, content out there and a lot of ways to do things. So I think it's a really, really cool pod. I'm pumped to be on it.
I'm pumped to have you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. And yeah, thank you both. Thanks everyone for listening. I hope when you listen to this, we have gotten some good news about where we're drafting. And
Should we say a prayer? Should we say a prayer, all three of us? Before?
Yeah. Should we say a quick prayer?
I think so.
May the bombs not go off tonight. Okay. I think it's a dark ending there, but praying for no bombs. And Matty D, I'm going to bring you in just to say goodbye for 2 weeks. Everything's okay. Okay. Matty D, what's up? What do you want to tell people, about us and what we're up to?
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the clips we put up on YouTube, head over to your favorite podcatcher. Listen to the full episode of Confederacy of Dunks only on the Rapcast, or you can go to raptorsrepublic.com and listen there. You can also listen at our own personal website, dunkspodcast.com. And yeah, just make sure that you support the writers. There's a lot of news right now going on with strikes and everything else. So we've been trying to get this paywall going. $6 a month. We got to support our Raptors Republic writers like Nigel. They just do incredible work and they deserve to get paid. So yeah, check that out. And that's pretty much it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Remember that we do have chapters now in the podcast notes. If you want to jump around to which topic we're talking about, then we've made it a little bit easier for you. So yeah, thanks again for listening. Subscribe and rate and all that stuff. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Well said. Maddie, you're the greatest. Thank you as always for, doing your work, chapters and all. And, let me just echo, I usually, I have Maddie do the end there, but, there are so many great writers and it's our first year around with Raptors Republic and, to have access to that. And, I'm learning a ton from reading articles and, different perspectives. So, please do support. And, I'm glad you tied it into the writer's strike because, that's it's a big deal. It's going to have ripple effects and support writers, right? They make the content. They're not, there's people who really think things through. They're not just like me and they're just like letting their ADHD pop off. But hey, I have my own thing. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll have a coach by then. Maddie, good sir, if you feel like we're done and we're good to go, please just give me those words I love so much. Okay.
Listen to full episodes of the Confederacy of Dunks only on the Rapcast.